Welcome back to Blissfully Mapping You with SMS. So, the emotional mind is controlled by feelings. Therefore, if you're angry, the emotional mind will focus on those angry emotions and respond emotionally. Emotional reasoning is what keeps you in the problem behavior. So you don't want your emotions to dictate your movements. So redirect your focus back to the problem situation and not your emotions about the situation. Stop and think. Map out the problem. Then negotiate with yourself by looking at the positive and negative aspects of the situation. Right? Next, examine your options that can help you solve the problem. This will help you come up with better solutions that are not focused in your feelings but grounded in critical thinking. In essence, being intentional with your behavior is important. You may want to look at my video titled Successful Days. In that video, I talk about how to make a successful day without engaging in that problem behavior. So that will be really helpful for you guys. The emotional mind will look for excuses to do the unhealthy behavior as a form of self-soothing to assist with feeling slabbed, as I've coined it. And SLAB stands for stress, loneliness, uh, boredom, envy, and discontentment, which are emotional triggers that can lead you to engage in the problem behavior. So when you feel this way or you have these emotions, in order for you to get by feeling that way, you self-soothe by engaging in a drug, by going gambling, by buying yourself excessive clothing or pocketbooks, by eating excessively with food, or whatever that unhealthy behavior is that you're doing at that time, right? And emotional triggers cause you to engage in those problems. After that behavioral response is activated, for instance, you're crying, right? Because you're feeling lonely right now. The thought about being alone generates those feelings of sadness. And this stimulates or triggers cravings for you, which initiate doing the problem behavior, such as drug use. In brief, loneliness is an emotional trigger that can cause urges or cravings for alcohol use, cocaine, overeating, gambling, for example. For this reason, you want to intervene before the emotion leads to the unhealthy behavior or actions. Cravings are results of your emotions and thoughts surrounding an emotional or external trigger. To illustrate, before the craving began, thoughts of gambling, drinking, or using drugs were present, along with feelings of loneliness or anger, for instance. So our triggers are people, places, things, and emotions that will affect your decision to engage in the behavior. So once you feel this way, people get angry or sad, they find that as a reason to go do the drug or to go to the casino. So they say it helps them feel better, right? So you have just given yourself permission to perform the behavior when you expose yourself to those external triggers. Therefore, make behavioral changes to avoid those people, places, and things, and to help manage emotions that create scenarios where you want to go use or go gamble, okay? So you are the key that activates or deactivates that problem behavior. So we have to understand that and start being accountable and giving ourselves that key, meaning that we can turn it on and we can turn it off. It may sound difficult, and at times it is hard. But as you begin and you start doing the strategies and you look at more of my videos, you'll be able to gain control over some of those cravings and some of those urges, right? So by avoiding or reducing triggers when you can, This will decrease the likelihood of you doing the problem behavior, such as drinking, gambling, or overeating, for instance. Mental distractions are good to occupy your mind. This is very important to have mental distractions to occupy your mind when you're trying to get through and manage cravings. So you want to find activities that are mentally challenging, fascinating, and burn up a lot of time, such as being a mediator or an administrator of a Facebook blog. Starting your own Facebook blog, right? On whatever you're interested in is also something that can be really good. Brainstorming a business venture and researching how you can go about starting that business is another great thing to do, right? Or you can research something interesting and exciting for yourself. You can think about activities that you want to do and then start that conversation on Facebook, online. And the more time that healthy activity takes up, that's the less time that you're thinking about that drug, because your mind is going to be distracted on something else that you like. And it's hard to, and I talked about this in another video, when you engage in problem behaviors like drugs, gambling, all your happiness and fun is centered around doing those behaviors. So it's going to be difficult to find entertainment and enjoyment on something else. So you have to really push yourself to get engaged in these activities, and you have to stay and hang with it. And the more you do the activity and you start looking forward to doing the activity, that will help you avoid that unhelpful or negative behavior, right? Another thing is calling a friend that you can talk to about the problem behavior who is not engaged in the behavior as well. And that's also another great thing to do. Finally, practice deep breathing to reduce physical symptoms from the cravings, right? These cravings that you have will come up and they will pass momentarily. Whether they're seconds, minutes, that's when the strongest part of the craving is, right? And as time goes on, they get less and less. So it's very important that you don't act as soon as that craving comes. And you may say, oh, I can't control it. I got to go do it. And, that's something that either you can just let that thought flow through your mind, or, as I'm suggesting, distract from that thought. Find something else that you can do that's going to help take up that huge amount of time. And in the previous video, I talked about, how you can focus on one word. And sometimes when you're having these urges and cravings, when if you decide to focus on a beach or some sedative thing, that may actually make the craving worse, because when you're having these cravings and the way you relax is to do what? Do the drug. So maybe the answer may be more activity, not sitting back and just doing some slow breathing. So what you want to do, if you're going to do the breathing at all, and the breathing will help with relieve some of that tightness that comes in your body when you're going through those urges. You may feel real tight and you may be shaking. You might want to take those deep breaths in. And when you're blowing out those cravings, those urges, those tightness. You might want to do this 3 to 5 times. Breathe in deeply, breathe out deeply, right? And you want to keep trying the strategies. Look at my videos. They will help you. Remember, I care about you. You are not helpless. You are not hopeless. You are worthy. You are worth it. You love yourself. You forgive yourself. And you are in control of you. Like my videos, share my videos, and subscribe to the channel. Bye.